Tales from the Crypt. In the Groove opens with a deceptively cheerful rhythm, a pulsating beat that immediately draws the audience into the world of music and ambition. Yet, underneath it lies an undercurrent of danger, a warning that the pursuit of fame can exact a terrifying price. The story revolves around a struggling musician, whose life is a delicate balance of talent, desperation, and moral compromise. From the very first scene, the camera lingers on the dimly lit streets of the city, reflecting the protagonist's internal struggle. The opening sequence, where he performs in a small, nearly empty club, is staged with meticulous attention to lighting and sound design. The contrast between the lively music he produces and the vacant expressions of the audience foreshadows the isolation that success may bring, and sets the tone for the darkly ironic narrative that is characteristic of Tales from the Crypt. The film's use of music is not merely background. It becomes a character in itself, driving the plot, revealing psychological depth, and highlighting the moral tension that underpins every decision the protagonist makes. One of the most striking aspects of the film is its pacing. Unlike conventional horror or suspense, it alternates between moments of frenetic energy during musical sequences and slow, almost torturous character studies. Each scene is carefully constructed to allow the audience to feel both the exhilaration and the creeping dread that accompany ambition. For instance, a pivotal scene in which the protagonist is offered a lucrative contract is framed through extreme close-ups on his hands and the contract, while the ambient music shifts subtly to a minor key, signaling the moral peril. The narrative's complexity is enhanced by the supporting characters, each of whom embodies different aspects of temptation, greed, or artistic compromise. The mentor figure, whose own fame was bought at a terrible cost, serves as a chilling mirror, demonstrating the potential consequences of surrendering one's ethics for success. In this sense, the film operates on both literal and allegorical levels, blending elements of psychological thriller and moral fable. Visually, the cinematography is a standout element. The use of shadows, reflections, and contrasting colors conveys not only mood, but also character psychology. A memorable scene occurs when the protagonist practices late at night in a dimly lit studio. The reflections of neon lights on the instruments and mirrors create a distorted, almost surreal landscape, mirroring the protagonist's fragmented sense of reality. The attention to small details, such as the subtle change in color temperature to signal mood shifts, elevates the film beyond a typical anthology episode. Humor also plays an unexpectedly important role. While the overarching narrative is dark, In the Groove does not shy away from moments of satirical wit, particularly in interactions between the protagonist and the music industry representatives. These moments serve to heighten the tension by contrasting levity with the gravity of the protagonist's moral choices. The climax is a masterful blend of suspense, horror, and dark comedy. Without giving away the ending, the way the final sequence unfolds demonstrates precise control over timing, sound, and visual composition. The protagonist's fate is sealed not by a supernatural force alone, but by the convergence of ambition, hubris, and human frailty, delivering a moral punch that is both satisfying and unsettling. In comparing In the Groove to other episodes of Tales from the Crypt, it stands out for its innovative integration of music as a narrative engine. Unlike episodes that rely heavily on gore or shock value, this installment uses rhythm, performance, and auditory cues to intensify psychological tension. The thematic resonance is amplified by the meticulous interplay of sound and image, creating a cinematic experience that lingers long after the credits roll. On a personal note, the first time I watched the film, I was struck by how intimately it captured the duality of artistic pursuit, the exhilaration of creation, and the peril of compromise. Certain sequences, particularly the final performance, left a lasting impression, making me reflect on my own experiences with ambition and the subtle moral choices we face in pursuit of success. In conclusion, Tales from the Crypt. In the Groove is an exemplary piece of storytelling that transcends the limits of traditional anthology horror. It combines psychological depth, moral complexity, visual artistry, and musical ingenuity, delivering an episode that is as thought-provoking as it is entertaining. It is a cautionary tale about temptation and ambition, rendered with style, wit, and the eerie moral clarity that has defined the series since its inception.